Nation, a lot of you probably wonder why I don't review a lot of power metal, and it's not so much that I don't like the genre, it's just something that I guess hasn't really always been my cup of tea. There are bands that I enjoy, there are albums that I enjoy, and I'm about to talk about one that I've enjoyed recently, and that's Stones Grow Her Name by Sonata Arctica. Now, I pretty much just gave away that this is probably going to be a favorable review, which is very unlike the last review that I just did. But you have to realize that Justin Bieber and Sonata Arctica are day and night whenever you think about what the music is like. Now, Sonata Arctica is a band that's been getting some acclaim over the past couple of albums, whether it be in America, but mainly it's abroad, and it's been because they have just really inspired a lot of people. There's a very, very nice blend of the keyboards, the organs, the different instruments. There's even some trumpets, some horns, and really just been able to blend that with a nice fast-paced power metal sound that at times is even bordered on progressive metal. So this is a band that really incorporates multiple sounds, which also is something that is right up CKN's alley, because it means that variety is oftentimes something that they are going to be able to boast. Now, with this particular album here, the one thing that I'm going to say right off the bat is that there are some portions of this album that are just downright fucking catchy. And I know a lot of you are going to probably think about the same point, and that is a shitload of money. And yeah, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with that because it's very, very obvious that that is, what a lot of people are reacting to. And it is a very, very catchy song. It's a very, very good song. It is able to incorporate great vocals and also has some tremendous instrumentalization to back it. The atmosphere is very apt, and it just feels very, it feels like a very fun song. And this is a very fun song that was it was fun to be a part of. Now, the whole entire album isn't like this. They're able to blend both dark moods and light moods. There definitely seems to be a bit of a framework going on here that involves a lot of personal loss, or at least in the purpose of the main character of this album. There definitely seems to be a tremendous personal turmoil that's going on, and it almost reads a little bit like a biography. And it's the biography of meeting somebody who then is you build a life around and life with, and only to have them all taken from you. It's a very interesting concept, and the music is able to, for the most part, back that idea very, very well. In fact, it seems to really blend together the grief and the rage together very nicely. Now, whether or not that was the intended idea or not, that's just kind of what I took out of it, and I really kind of fell in love with that whole concept and idea. Anything that involves a lot of personality is certainly something that I'm going to get into. Now, musically, this is a very sound record, and you can definitely tell that they have two key influences, and that would be the first one of power metal bands such as Stratovarius, and the second one being classic rock bands such as Kiss, or more exceptionally so, Queen. Queen is definitely ever present in a lot of their work, and they're able to tell very, very nice stories and do a lot of things vocally, harmonically, and musically in a span of a very short period of time. They're able to tell and weave a tale, or at least a part of a story, with relative ease. So that's something that also gives this album a lot of high points. The low points kind of come in the fact that there is a little bit of a simulacrum going on amid some of the tracks. I mean, power metal is very known for this. The aggressive riffing sometimes can become a little bit similar in nature whenever you go from track to track, where the idea seems to repeat itself sometimes at some points. And for some people, this is this is awesome, because it kind of harkens back to some speed metal riffing that's being put together to the power metal template, and with a lot of symphonic edge, either that or with a very harmonic edge, which creates an overall atmosphere that they find very, otherworldly. They're able to kind of escape into an alternate reality that the story is trying to embrace. However, whenever you listen to it in a very objective fashion, it's something that does have to be mentioned, and it's something that a lot of power metal does tend to fall victim to. The really great power metal albums from bands such as Halloween and Gamma Ray, some of the great forefathers of the genre, are able to have so much power because they have a lot of different ideas going on at different points in time, and really are able to blend styles and kind of cross over and build some bridges between this new style of metal that had been concocted, as well as others that have already been previously incarnated. So with this album being of the same nature and of the same vein, there are some moments where it just seems to lag a little bit. Now, this is an album that also has received a lot of acclaim, and that's fair. It's very fair to say that this album deserves the acclaim in which it was able to receive whenever it first was released, because there are some moments on this record that are downright spellbinding, and it's hypnotic in nature, where you just want to continue to listen to it over and over again. The replay value on this album is very solid, so for those reasons, the overall negatives are outweighed by the positives, and the positives that can be mentioned about this album are certainly more plenteous in number than any sort of negative. And in fact, to be perfectly blunt, mentioning a simulacrum that is part of a lot of power metal music to begin with is not really that much of a negative. That's more like saying, well, hey, they're a power metal band. You know, almost lumping them in, but at the same time, they crafted one heck of a cool album. I really enjoyed this release. It is definitely one that is able to really encapture the emotion and the feelings of the character within, the vocalist, you know, the singer, you know, the person who's telling the story, and is really able to inflict that upon somebody else, thus causing you to feel changed. You know, you're able to get an emotional response from it, and the music behind it, and the key moments is extremely apt. You know, the music definitely syncs up with the emotion. It's not something where it seems out of place or disjointed. So there's a lot of great things to talk about with this record, which we've already done, and now all that is left to do is for a score to be wielded to it. I'm not really going to go as high as some other people have. I think I'm just going to stick with a solid 8 out of 10. There are moments on this album that I really loved, really enjoyed. Some moments are just kind of okay to me. So, you know, overall this is a very a solid release. Definitely something I recommend, but is it going to, you know, set my world on fire come December? Well, it's hard to tell. You know, that is 6 months down the line since we're talking here in June of 2012. But as of right now, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like this might be on the fringe of the top 25 if I were to harbor any guesses right now, and that might be about it. But still a great album, still something I would recommend, something that I think you guys should check out. So definitely go out there and do that. The Stones Grow Her Name by Sonata Arctica. Go listen to it now, later on.